Hey, what's up? People on the internet, they like to hype up players. In some cases, they like to show misleading stats that prove their point initially, but when you actually watch the player, it doesn't really matter. Then there's people that just watch highlights of players and that's their whole opinion on them. And then there's also the type of guys that say Reece James is going to outdo Cafu's career. I like Reece James a lot, but let's calm down there. What about those that catch the FIFA hype? Made that sound like a disease. What's been going on recently with Mr. Stephan El Shaarawy? In the 2018-19 campaign, he was playing for Roma, and while they were struggling, El Shaarawy was one of the few bright spots. He played in 28 Serie A matches, scored 11, and assisted 4. He was entering his prime years, turning 27 in late 2019, but instead of kicking on and pushing for an even better 2019-2020 season, he went to China. Roma had an offer on the table, a bid in the region of 16 to 18 million euros. Roma missed out on Champions League for the first time since 2013, and even though they constantly got Champions League revenue year after year, they dealt with financial fair play. Sales were made to balance the books and make a plusvalenza on a player. That's a word of the day if I've ever heard one. El Shaarawy was one of several sales, although the price seemed low. Many could argue that he was Roma's best player, but he was gone for less than 20 million euros to Chinese club Shanghai Greenland Shenhua. Apparently, him and Roma couldn't bridge a deal for a new contract, with reports saying his camp was looking for 3 million euros a season after tax. The Chinese deal, on the other hand, would reportedly pay him 40 million euros over a 3-year deal. I mean, fair play to him. That's a crap ton of money and huge financial security for his family. While it would be nice to see him compete in Europe again, it could happen in the future, but let's not focus too much on the future right now. Instead, let's look further back. Before all the hype began on a video game, there was some actual hype surrounding the player. He was with Genoa since the age of 14, and despite playing only 3 matches for the club, he was sold to AC Milan in 2011. Some say it was 10 million plus Alex Merkel, which equaled 20 million. Wait, the Alex Merkel? Haven't heard that name in a while. What's he up to? Hercules Almelo? Oh, he's in the Eredivisie? Plays for Kazakhstan? I thought he was German. Why would AC Milan buy a player from Genoa for a pretty significant fee for the time and for someone so young? He did perform pretty well for Padova on loan the season prior in Serie B. 29 matches, 9 goals. It was pretty apparent that they saw something special in him, but before he started excelling on the pitch for AC Milan, he was doing it for thousands of clubs on the virtual one. FIFA 12, one of the most important games in my life, and one very important that kickstarted the FIFA scene on the internet. With the game mode of Ultimate Team becoming more popular year by year, there's more attention on players, not just for their performances on the field, but one in a video game. El Shaarawy was one of those guys. It also helped that he was a promising prospect too, because in other game modes like FIFA Career Mode, he always developed into a world-class player. Ultimate Team was where his hype was truly driven, and there were several reasons for that. In FIFA, using skill moves was valued, not because they broke game mechanics, but they were fun to do. There were several montages at the time of people scoring these incredible goals, and a lot of them involved 5-star skill moves. These moves can be performed by a specific amount of players, and with thousands of players in the Ultimate Team database, only around 50 had 5-star skills. El Shaarawy was one of them, and there was another thing that made him stand apart. He had a 5-star weak foot, so it didn't matter what foot you were using to shoot or pass. He was one of 4 players with a double 5 stars, and the only one that wasn't a gold player. I mean, his haircut wasn't bad either. That's all well and good. However, that wouldn't matter unless if he performed in the game. My goodness, he did. Of course, I never really got to use him because I was terrible at the game and terrible at maintaining my coins during this FIFA, so I could never afford the expensive skillers. For a month or so, I was using this Russian skill team that didn't even have Samuel Eto'o on it. My friends, on the other hand, were not as unfortunate, and people I faced online weren't as well. It was a simpler time on FIFA, where some silver players were significantly better than a lot of golds. In Yu-Gi-Oh, they had the Egyptian god cards, and if those cards were in FIFA 12, El Shaarawy would be one of them. Quite fitting since he's nicknamed Il Faraone. Who would be the other two? Maybe a future video. In real life, he was showing promise, mostly making appearances off the bench in the 2011-2012 campaign. In all competitions, 28 matches, 4 goals, and 3 assists. Not too bad. The next season, he started making an emergence for AC Milan, and his card in FIFA kept getting better. Every year, FIFA fans wait for the ratings to release and the early access to start. Seeing El Shaarawy as a low rated gold would mean that he would be cheaper since he'd appear more commonly in packs. Unfortunately, EA took away his double 5 stars, and now he just had the double 4 stars. His allure was still there, and it was probably a justified downgrade. It just sucked that EA were downgrading so many 5-star skillers that year. Now this season for Milan, El Shaarawy was performing at a really high level. 16 goals and 5 assists in Serie A. That would make him tied for the 3rd top goal scorer in the league, only behind the names of Edison Cavani and Antonio Di Natale. His great campaign led to several things to happen on FIFA. He got an informed card for being in the game's 10th team of the week. It was a left wing, but he was playing in that position, so it made sense. Still, an upgraded El Shaarawy card was what so many people wanted, especially in FIFA 12. The price ranged from 60 to 100k for the most part, which is quite a lot for that low rated of a card. However, a few months later, those that had the card got screwed over as he was upgraded in January to an 81 rated gold card, and it would be significantly cheaper than an inform, and his inform didn't get an upgrade. His performances in real life was rewarded with a Team of the Season card, which looked incredible. I can't remember how good it was, probably since I couldn't afford it. Unfortunately, this would be the best card that the community would get for a long time. FIFA 14 rolled around, and it was pretty cool that he was part of the marketing campaign. He was also on the cover of the Italian version of the game with Lionel Messi, and was included in the commercial for the game, which, side note, is probably one of the best commercials EA has ever made. His card also looked pretty good. What the? 3-star skills? No, that can't be for real. This has to be some sort of joke. He was later upgraded to 4 stars in game modes outside of Ultimate Team in October, and eventually I think he was upgraded to 4 stars in Ultimate Team. In real life, he was having a lot of problems on the pitch with 3 small injuries in the first half of the season. In FIFA, you could apply a healing card to an injury, but if you tried that in real life, you just looked like an idiot. In late December, he got a foot injury which kept him out for nearly 4 months. He ended the season with only 9 matches played. AC Milan were also struggling on the pitch, and would miss out on the Champions League for the first time since 2008 by finishing 8th. This was the beginning of the downfall of AC Milan, and for some time, things wouldn't be getting better for either El Shaarawy or AC Milan, and things are still not great for AC Milan right now. But at least you have Zlatan. The 2014-2015 campaign had him play at least almost half of the season. 19 appearances brought 3 goals and 3 assists, which didn't help AC Milan as they would finish in 10th. 2 of those goals were at the end of the season too. Injuries were killing him. This time a metatarsal fracture kept him out for over 3 months. His card looked good at least. He got an inform, and Futhead comments were being optimistic. Sadly, it was starting to feel like things weren't the same anymore, and of course they weren't. Why else would this sad music be playing? He was loaned to Monaco in the summer of 2015 with an option to buy for 14 million euros. Well, that was a disaster. His FIFA card looked similar, and while Monaco did use the option to buy him, he would move back to Serie A in January of that season. Not back to AC Milan. No. To the country's capital of Rome with AS Roma. It was a loan from Monaco for 1.4 million euros with an option to buy for 13 million euros. His return to Serie A had him make 16 appearances, and incredibly, he scored 8 and assisted 2. A new club for Il Farone, and a fresh start for his career. And as DACM98 was yelling at Galliani, El Shaarawy got a nice upgrade. The next card on FIFA 17 wasn't much of an upgrade. The good thing was that he almost played an entire season, scored 8, and even got more assists. Roma would finish in second, losing Serie A by 4 points in Todi's last ever season. 87 points was an incredible achievement, and if it wasn't for Juventus, Roma would be celebrating their first Scudetto since 2001, but it wasn't meant to be. Now he got his 5-star skills back, but does it even matter anymore? People have moved on with their lives. Nobody cares about FIFA anymore. Ultimate Team did some interesting things around El Shaarawy. A FUT birthday promotion released cards which FIFA players in the past loved. They were cool designs with significant upgrades. Then EA did the unthinkable. They released an SBC of a special version of El Shaarawy. An 88 rated cam, 92 pace, 93 dribbling, 88 shooting. Pretty much how he felt in FIFA 12. This is what many thought El Shaarawy would become one day. A kind gesture by EA. A kind gesture of you exchanging basically 600k. Realistically, if you had a bunch of FUT Champions players, it would have costed a lot less. Nevertheless, it just felt right that he got this card. He also got an inform at left wing, which was a tiny bit worse than the 88. Then he got downgraded, despite the only thing on the FIFA card going down being his physical. What the?
I mean, maybe the downgrade is warranted, but how do you go from a 5-star weak foot in FIFA 12 to a 2-star weak foot 6 years later? Did the man get his legs chopped off? No, seriously. Did he just start playing professional football, having a magical left foot, and then just stop using it? Did EA just misjudge how he used his left foot for so many years? Or like, what are they thinking?
Nevertheless, a season which saw him score 7 and assist 5 in 33 appearances, it wasn't bad, and he got an inform in September, as well as a January upgrade. There's also this Path to Glory card which El Shaarawy got. It ended up being quite pointless because he never got any more informs, and Italy didn't make the World Cup. Now we're back at the 2018-2019 season where he got 11 goals and 4 assists and moved to China. His cards on FIFA before the China move were incredible. For some reason, he was a non-rare card to start off the game cycle. He got the Champions League +1 upgrade, which every player in the competition received, and an inform for his 2 goals against Sampdoria. A foot swaps card was also brought into Ultimate Team as an 86 rated, and finally, a Team of the Season card for Serie A. Ladies and gentlemen, what a sight to behold. Something that should be cherished. Something El Shaarawy fanboys wanted for years, and while many may not be playing FIFA anymore, it finally came. Then he went to China. El Shaarawy's career started really promising. His reputation worldwide was brought up by the hype of him on the FIFA Ultimate Team series, which was due to him being a promising player. His struggles in real life with performances and injuries led to the hype fading away. Even with him seemingly on a resurgence and in his prime no less, he went to China. He could always come back to Europe and would still be able to play at his peak, but will it ever be the same? Maybe it's just nostalgia playing with me and having huge memories with my friends, but I don't think we'll see a player as noteworthy as El Shaarawy in a FIFA video game. Well, not bad.